Hello and welcome to another week of The Parenting Business, the podcast for business owners and parents, where myself and Ben just chat around all of those things that kind of affect you, that's maybe a little bit different to someone who just owns a business or is just a parent. So let's crack on with the show. Ben, how are you
Good evening.
this week?
Very well, very well. I'm very happy, in fact, to have received some truly positive, genuine feedback from a listener who's actually listened to all of them. Genuinely wasn't just saying, "Oh, yeah, it's really good, mate. I enjoy it. Yeah, keep going," type of thing. Just tell it to shut up and fuck off. Genuinely. So to go with, and I'm going to forget some of the wording from last month, but to go with, we'll make a VAT return slightly less painful.
Yeah.
So that's feedback that we'll take. To go with, and I'm going to get some of this wrong, two dreary blokes banging on about every aspect of their boring lives. The most uninspiring thing I've ever listened to, even at 1.5 times speed. So there's 2 bits of feedback. We can add pile. I'm really enjoying your show and I can't wait to listen to the next one.
Hey,
Keep
we'll
it
take
up.
that one.
We've not only took that one, we've booked him as a guest. Come on, let's have you.
So leave us some feedback and we'll get you on as a guest.
That's it, yeah. So, no, that was genuinely nice to see from somebody who, because quite a few people listen and they go, yeah, it was all right, mate, quite enjoyed it. And then sort of that's that. So to hear some really positive enthusiasm in the words he's telling me, other than just, yeah, you mate, fuck off. That was nice, because we do put a bit of effort into this. We're not professionals by any means, and we don't plan it particularly well, but we do give it a bit of effort. So to have that was quite nice.
Hey, we turn up every week. I think
We turn up every week.
That's the thing. We're consistent.
Consistent. You can be consistently shit, but just keep being consistent. We said that a few weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And we'll get there. Same with your daily lives. It's how you improve at anything. Just keep turning up.
And with that, I'll say to the listeners,
Go on.
If you are listening to us and you do enjoy the show, please remember to click subscribe. Please like us, follow us, leave us a review. 5-star reviews are always good, even if the comment says we're absolute shite. And do feel free to get in touch with any feedback you've got, any advice, any questions by emailing us podcast@parentingbusiness.com. So let's crack on and get back into the show then again, Ben. Let's talk highs and lows, or lows and highs.
Lows and highs.
So
mine are linked. Mine are very, very linked.
Exciting.
Well,
exciting.
Don't get your hopes up too much, because I'm just about to dash any forms of entertainment that you may feel's coming your way. So I've droned on.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Droned on last week. I think it was last week, maybe the week before. The thing that's niggling me is the electrical system of the Jaguar XF.
Yes.
I got a very high quote back and I dithered, is it time to get rid of the car? And I ended up saying, best the devil you know than better you don't. Book it in, mate. Let's crack on. And to be fair, they found a little bit of a cheaper way and just felt sorry for me, I think. So looked after me. A high price, fairly high price, but equally, I've been using them years, get on with it. So.
Yeah.
And so today, after walking everywhere for quite a while, today we get it'll be done this afternoon. So cool. Tomorrow I can pick it up. It's been a little bit, my wife doing all the nursery runs is a little bit painful, and we normally try and share it a bit because it's a little bit tight for her to get to work on time, whereas I'm a bit more flexible. Brill. So gets a phone call about 10 to 4, just getting ready to sort of lock up and pack up for the day. Right, put it all back together, new alternator, new battery, new this, that and the other, and your brand new alternator isn't charging your brand new battery. We don't know what's wrong with it. Sake. It's 2 weeks.
Oh dear.
Yeah, 2 weeks plus without a car now. Legs ache because I'm walking 6 miles a day. Not every day, but most. So what happens now? Don't know. I mean, I've not paid them yet, and they're not kicking off or anything, but there's an element of, we're 840 quid down when they present their bill, as it was, as I was expecting tomorrow morning. But now we need the auto electrician out to try and figure out what's wrong with it. Well, where does that leave me? Seeing as well, when the bill was just over £1,000, I was thinking, might just sack it off and buy a new car.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. So that's the low. But the high, which is inexplicably linked, is with my 3 weeks of walking, my waist is half an inch smaller.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
had a little Zoom call
Yeah,
earlier
yeah.
today with the guy using the business coach as a bit of a general coach as well, sort of thing, just with someone to bounce ideas around and keep you accountable to the targets that you set yourself. And he actually said, so your targets lose an inch per quarter. How do you think you've got on? Says, hang on a minute, got tape measure over there. Half inch smaller. That's me win.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm well happy with that, yeah.
Yeah, that's a bonus, proper
Yeah,
bonus.
proper bonus.
So
yeah.
are you going to end up walking to work more regularly, or trying to walk to work much more regularly now anyway?
Probably. My target is to lose that 1 inch a quarter. And if this has proven to work quite well in the last fortnight, I'll bring it on.
Yeah, yeah. Are you changing anything else to go with that?
Well,
have you changed eating habits
yes.
or anything else?
Yes. In the last 10 days, what's today? We're recording this on the 10th. So a week ago as now, I had a lot of birthday cake and got given shortbread and no end of biscuits because people think,
Yeah.
what does Ben like? He doesn't drink much anymore. He don't do this. He don't do that. Doesn't have hobbies. Doesn't have a life. Let's get a packet of chocolate hobnobs.
Let's give him food.
So I've eaten quite a lot more last week. So I'm well happy with that.
Okay.
Anyway, let's not drone on and bore ourselves. Your turn.
So eat more, but move more as well.
Move a lot more because it's almost 3 miles from my house to my factory.
Yeah, yeah.
It's 6 miles a day, pretty much.
And at least the weather's been a bit better.
Weather's been fine. There is a bus I can catch, so there's no drama if it's tipping it down.
Yeah, yeah.
Or my knee gives way or something, which it's been a bit sore, but it's not been terrible. It's been not too bad.
Okay.
Long may that continue. Go on then, what you
That's
done?
cool.
How's your kitchen? Is it still in one piece?
Yeah, I've not burnt the house down yet. I've
Well,
not
you
done
are
anything like
the
that.
only person I know who the fire brigade tell to take your smoke alarm down. Everyone else says put your smoke alarm on, make sure it's tested. I think they're fed up of it going off, aren't they? Come on,
God,
Master Chef.
if I had a link direct to the fire service, I'd be charged.
You might.
Although, no, hold on.
Go
Actually,
on.
I've been told I'm quite a good cook. I just don't read instructions sometimes. So come on.
Yeah, that's a fair comment. That's a fair comment. It was the instruction reading. I mean, what were we having last week when we spoke? Venison. If you can cook posh stuff,
yeah,
better than us
my cooking's all right.
normal commoners, then you must be doing something right.
Yeah, I get praised on my cooking.
Yeah, good.
I like to be adventurous.
Yeah.
And I like to cook different things too.
Very good.
So, okay, low this week
Cool.
was actually my daughter at 6 o'clock in the morning, chundering all over the bedroom floor.
Nice. Your bedroom or hers?
Mine.
Even better. You got the smell out of the carpet yet?
She'd come into work. She'd come into my room about 20 minutes before, which was really good. She'd slept really well, and we were just kind of chilling out a little bit, getting her to just before she's allowed to put the TV on, because she's not allowed to put the TV on before kind of get up properly, even in the bedroom. So we were just having a little bit of chat. All of a sudden she said, "Daddy, I feel sick." I was like, right, quick bathroom. She got up, out the bed, turned around the corner, and wasn't just sick in one place, was a little bit sick, and then went a bit further and was a bit sick again, and then went a bit further and was a lot more sick. And, the last little tiny bit went in the bathroom. So that was fun. The thing that was even worse about it, though, well, not even worse, because that sounds really unfair to her. She was sick. I have no idea why. She wasn't ill.
Well, we've established
She then got up.
We established it's not your cooking. You're a very good cook.
Well, this is the thing. She ate breakfast as normal, kept it all down, was dancing around like a loony.
Yeah. So
no problems whatsoever.
System tickety-boo.
And was absolutely tickety-boo. So that was kind of the low, really, having to mop up 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning. The high, though, was actually this morning. We now have seemingly better weather, drier weather. And at 6:30, 7:15 this morning, I was sat in the garden drinking coffee and just having a really nice start to the day. It was like I wouldn't say a summer's morning, it was still bloody cold, but it was a nice morning. It's the first time, I suppose, since this year, or since the winter set in, that things started to improve enough that I was able to just sit there, have a cup of coffee outside with the dogs wandering around the garden, just chilling out a little bit and just enjoy the morning a bit. So I'll take that.
You'll tell that's good. That's good. It's nice things like integration back to
Yeah.
keep you there. Mind you, you do have another low at the minute, don't you? That's not the only low that you've got, was it? What's your other low?
I don't know. I have lots of little lows.
You literally, we all do, don't we? I think. What's your other
God,
low? Tell him
have I
just before
said
we come online.
Have I said something else to you about me?
Yeah, just before you're coming on.
You're going to have to give me a hint.
What hurts?
I wasn't going to talk about that on this episode.
No,
yes, my arse hurts.
You're not going to get away with admit that. You can't say, for some reason, my arse hurts. I can't remember what happened last night. I just took some pills and went to a party. Now my arse hurts. And all of a sudden, you expect not to bring it up. Come on. What did you do? Have you been for an
my arse.
Been stuck
my
up
arse doesn't hurt for anything dodgy at all.
Well, you say that. I mean, everyone would say that, wouldn't they? What was that scene from Jackass where we went to the doctor with a car wrapped on after a party?
My arse hurts due to an accident.
Like. An accident?
Yeah. It was an accident.
Exactly, that's what we've just been saying, isn't it? An incident. Go on.
Probably around about 10 years or so ago now.
10 years ago in your full swing party days, yeah, go on.
Yeah. So I don't know how much you know about this or whether I've mentioned this to you before.
Very little.
I used to race sled dogs.
Don't think I knew that.
I used to race sled dogs for Great Britain.
Wow, okay.
Or represented Great Britain at international competitions on a few occasions.
It's impressive.
So quite a few years. In fact, this was probably going back 12 or 13 years.
That's still international athlete. That's elite level.
Yeah. And I was training. So when you train in the UK, you use a wheeled cart rather than a sled because we don't have any snow. And I was training with a friend of mine because we were running quite a large dog team. And the team moved off.
Yeah. And what did the friend do to your arse?
No, he did nothing to my arse. No. Although that friend actually in particular was known for getting drunk and ending up naked. Thankfully.
And you wouldn't remember what happened after the pills had been...
Thankfully, that doesn't come into it at all. I was fully clothed.
This is an understanding, friendly environment.
Yeah.
Go on.
Show us where he touched you on the dolly.
Show it where, yes.
No, so I fell off the back of my training cart and landed on my arse.
Okay.
And basically broke the bottom. It's not the coccyx; it's the little tiny bit right at the end of your tailbone. I kind of bent it apparently.
Right.
And what I've had to do since is every so often I used to have an injection basically straight into my lower spine, a pain relief injection to release I don't know whether it's a spasm or something that's just constantly now there. But what it means is if I sit on a hard surface for a long time, my arse hurts. Considerably hurts because of the pressure that it's putting onto the bottom of my tailbone.
No, it does make sense. And it's I apologise a little bit for making light of the situation that your friend from Dogging Club left you in after an accident.
Yeah, so, I know.
Commiserations.
So, as I was saying to you earlier,
go on.
Well, as I was saying to you earlier, I sit and when we record this podcast, I'm on an office chair. It's an old office chair, and I think I need to get one a little bit more comfortable. Or maybe a donut cushion.
Maybe a donut cushion. You could probably make a donut cushion. I'll tell you what I did. I sat because it was Manufacturing Network today, and I met a man there who locally manufactures colonic irrigation machines.
Okay.
You can get a good wash, bit of a massage through, and maybe you feel right as rain after your former mate at Dogging Club put you in an accident.
Funnily enough, and without going into this graphically, I've wondered about colonic irrigation before.
I can give you a phone number. Well, I can't. I didn't actually take his number, but I'll have his details because he'll be on the the list of attendees.
Yeah. I've just always wondered, because lots of people rave about it, but is it just one of those, yuppie things? Is there anything in there that actually does? Will it basically empty the shit out of me?
Why don't you have a go and tell us next week?
What, just with a hose pipe in the garden?
Got a cheaper way. Karcher jet wash. Might make you feel a lot better, I'm sure. No,
Jeez.
okay.
The shit would end up coming out. The shit would end up coming out your mouth. Not that it doesn't anyway.
Well, yeah, we already have that problem to some degree, as the listeners will attest to.
So,
shall we move
go
it
on then? Yeah, now you've talked about my arse for the last kind of 10 minutes or so.
Yes, well, everyone needs a hobby.
Let's move it on. I have a couple of things this week.
What you got? Well, no, you've just told us.
The first one, slightly business related, actually links to this podcast.
Okay.
And it's a bit of a not a rant, but a suggestion. So we got an email a couple of weeks ago.
Did you?
You know how I keep putting out there that really we could do with somebody to help us produce the show.
Oh, you haven't
kind of sorted and so on and so forth, and maybe help us improve a little bit, which we're still looking for, by the way. So if anybody is listening and they want to give us a little bit of free producer time, but we got an email from somebody who said, I produce podcasts. This is some of my stuff. And I was thinking, brilliant. And I responded and said, and the email from this person was, would you like to have a chat?
Okay.
And I thought, yeah, that sounds really interesting. So I went back and I was really honest with the email.
Okay.
Great to hear from you.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. Would love to have a chat. Would be really interested. Just need to make you aware, though, that we haven't got the money to pay for this. We are doing this out of our own pocket. We do it for a bit of fun and to get stuff off our chest. Don't get me wrong. I did say in there, if you're thinking of ways that you can monetize the podcast that bring us an income that covers some of those expenses or even their expense, if there's someone that charges, because they didn't mention charges, then we're open to have a chat. So it'd be lovely to have a chat with you. Give us some dates and times. Didn't get a response. So that person has gone to the effort of sending out a marketing email. And it was direct. It wasn't a blanket marketing because it referenced the show and, was very specific. So it obviously been handwritten. Put the time into that, gets a response with some interest, even if that was interest that's, okay, we can't really afford it. They could have come back and said, okay, you can't afford it now, so I can't do anything, but here's some information if you do need me in the future.
Keep each other's details. You don't know what's going to happen next year.
Yeah, didn't even get a response. And you talk about, customer acquisition.
Yeah.
If you are going to send a fucking email to somebody to say, hey, I'm here, I can potentially support you and offer a service, and they respond, have the decency to at least email them back and say, brilliant, thanks for responding. I appreciate the fact that you've emailed back.
Well, people want instant gratification, don't they? As opposed to a long drawn out thing, because we'd remember that and perhaps be almost loyal to somebody who waited a year for us to go, actually, we can afford you now, And the rate we're going, I'm not just trying to, who knows where this is going to go. The rate of growth on this little podcast is actually quite impressive over the last 3 months.
I'm surprised.
I'm amazed.
Pleasantly surprised.
I'm staggered that we get most of the way towards 100 people listening to our wafflings.
Yeah, it's.
Am I right? Is that right? Is that what you said?
Bonkers.
It's like 80 odd.
Yeah, we can get up to 70 or 80 a week
70, 80 odd.
That listen overall.
Two twats who 80 odd people want to listen to us banging on about your arse.
Yeah, I know.
It's humbling.
It is, and it. But it just to come back to that thing of, business advice. If you're going to fucking email somebody and put the time in, then follow through, because if you don't, they'll remember it. And when you try and contact them in the future, they'll go, well, why would I bother?
You ignored me
responded last time and you ignored me.
Yeah. I mean, so the trajectory is you'd expect us to be on, I don't know, this time next year we could try and aim for, 500-600.
Yeah.
week in, week out. At that point, it's worth somebody's time, I'd imagine.
Potentially.
Potentially.
I mean,
our second guest, Mr. John Lamberton, just released a book about retention first.
I know.
They're already in with us. Let's see what happens, and if nothing comes of it, nothing comes of it. It's a pleasant reply.
Yeah.
So,
and
anyway.
he did mention around new customers, coming to, I think it was a shoe company, wasn't it, that said, "Oh, we haven't got your shoe in. We haven't got your shoe in stock.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
you can go and buy it from here, here, and here."
And you remember being looked after, so you think your trust is built to go back next time because you've been looked after, or in this instance,
absolutely
not built, and no hard feelings, but best of luck to her. So,
well,
yeah. I mean, speaking of which, I had an experience yesterday with very similar, although I insisted on send me your bill because I ballsed up my pensions. So, accounting software and the pension provider weren't talking to each other, and there was an error report that you get and go, you fucked up, this is why. And it talked about start dates being wrong. So I'd gone through, because I do my own payroll. It's not, I was about to say it's not that tricky, but I'm going to follow on with how I've fucked it up. So, so I'm going through all the start dates. No, it all marries. I don't get it. And I'm fucking around for about over a drawn out period of probably a month, few weeks. I'm dicking about for probably a couple of hours when you add it all up. And in the end, I just says, there's somebody from one of the local networking group who does payroll. She's a lovely person. Let's have a cup of tea and see what happens. And over this cup of tea, she just sorted it all out. And it's not a start date issue. It's when that person left and you took them off, you didn't put an end date in.
Yeah.
So because of an end date, we'd had a couple, 3 months of Zero and Nest not talking to each other.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. And I couldn't figure it out. So anyway, all sorted. And no, she was lovely. If a complete lunatic in one sense, because she'd just been away to Gambia, and she goes to Gambia twice a year for about 2 to 3 week period, and they do a bit with the local schools, and they sponsor little kids to pay for their education, and they see plenty of the culture, and when in Rome, do as the Romans do. They eat the meal the Gambian way, which isn't on plates, right? You just sit in a circle and chuck it in the middle and get a spoon. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. Anyway, one of the local, one of the local nature reserves, she strokes crocodiles. So
I'm assuming that's not actually a euphemism.
No, not in this instance.
Okay.
No. And I'm struggling to get, because I can't think why anybody, I mean, if Steve Irwin can be eaten by one of them, or however it was he died, you think, well, anybody can. You know what? I said, they're ever so tame, we just sit and stroke the tail from the back. I said, I'm going to do it from the fucking front here. And she says, no, never stroke their heads. They're sensitive on their heads. What is sensitive on their heads? What about all the fucking teeth? Forget them being sensitive. Are you seeing the jaws? They'll rip your leg off, man. And she says, yeah, one of the park keepers, he did actually rip his leg off. What are you doing? Fucking stroking its back then, love. Christ. Anyway, lovely lady, all sorted, complete lunatic, because her hobbies include stroking crocodiles. But, and she was going to do that free. The trust was there, the rapport was there, and if I ever need her in future, I'm not going anywhere else. So I've been looked after by somebody very, very kind. And actually, we come up with a thing where instead of that, then put me on a retainer, because her doing the payroll is very expensive when I know what I'm doing on a day-to-day. It's just when I cock it up sometimes or something I don't understand. And next time I cock it up, which is probably going to happen at some point this year, in the next 3-6 months or something, I probably won't go to her because I'm going to feel that pretty awkward and embarrassed. Though you did it free last time, I can't ask you again. But equally, I don't want to sign up at a few £100 a month when I can do it the day to day.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go on a cheaper retainer, and she's there as like safety net. As fucked up again. So we'll give her a shout out. Actually, I will now. Lisa Collett Payroll Services. If you're struggling, if you need a hand, look her up. She's brilliant. I did tell her to put her prices up, so sorry, listeners, if you do try and use her, it's going to cost you a bit more. My fault. But absolute lunatic who tickles crocodiles. But she's good at her job. She's did sorted me out quite easily. And speaking of lunatics, I was speaking to another lunatic, deranged mental case today in our first guest of the show, Mr. Mark Golby. And he spoke. Yes, the idiot who's running marathons backwards. Remember him? Runs marathons backwards. Sandwich short of a picnic there. But point is, his Just Giving page went live. I said we might put it in the comments, mate, because although this mental case does all these challenges, the amount of money they raise for some excellent causes, and the money
Yeah.
actually does do a lot of good. So I'm going to chuck a few quid in. Won't be this week because I've paid for 2 roofs on the same house and a car to fix somehow recent times, but I'll be chipping in later in the year. And if you're feeling generous and you've got a spare few quid, sack off the takeaway, give it Mark, who's running the London Marathon backwards next month. And that's not actually backwards running around he's running the circuit backwards.
Yeah.
From finish to start, a few hours after he's run it, the normal way, start to finish. I mean, fucking hell.
It's mad,
Total
isn't it?
yeah, but total hats off, respect to the man.
I think he's running it backwards first, actually.
He's running it, so
I
he's
think
running
he
it
runs
backwards,
it backwards
first.
overnight.
That's right.
And
The night
then he
before the
goes
marathon,
into-
he's running it fucking
he's running it
backwards,
backwards.
ready to start and run it forwards. Was that 52 miles running within how many hours is that going to be? Within like 6 hours or something?
It's bloody mad. What I have actually
Bloody
done
mad.
is I've already put his Just Giving link onto his episode, which if listeners look back, it's From Ice Rinks to Boardrooms, one of our earlier episodes. And I've also put it on the socials post on our YouTube page. So you can find both the links on there already to Mark Golby's Just Giving page.
So yeah, the consumer advice from this week's show, we don't do it every week, but this week's show, the consumer advice is if you find yourself tickling a crocodile, avoid the head. They're sensitive. For fuck's sake. Don't think, I'm not that keen on going abroad, let alone tickling crocodiles in the middle of a jungle.
One thing, just to pull your
Move it
point, though, I don't think you find crocodiles in the jungle.
Well, I'm sure you don't. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
If ever you wonder where you want to find crocodiles in the Gambia, Lisa Collett, Payroll Services, and she'll sort out any fuck-ups to your pension as well.
Hey,
there we
good
are.
advice. Good advice.
Good advice.
Moving on.
Stay out of trouble with the pensions regulator. Go on. Move it on.
Moving on, but also backwards.
Backwards.
I told you.
Running backwards.
Yeah,
Go on.
Yeah, that's a good.
Run
good
it in
segue
backwards.
into it,
Go on.
actually.
Yeah.
I was telling you about my daughter being sick.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. And her being absolutely fine afterwards. And for the rest of the day, playing around. This was Sunday morning. What's the policy in schools?
I know where you're going with this because it's the same in nurseries.
Fucking 48 hours.
Yep.
I can understand, don't get me wrong, if they've had sickness, diarrhea, and there's been a bug or something that you need to give it 48 hours. But this was a random chunder where afterwards she was absolutely fine, but she had to stay off school on Monday. She wanted to go to school on Monday.
Of course. Yeah.
She was happy to go to school on Monday. And don't get me wrong, it was really nice to spend a bit of extra time together.
Of course.
We went to the library, we did crafty things. So we kind of did schooly things. We did some reading and some phonics stuff. But she was fine to go to school. And school policy is 48 hours after they've been sick. What a load of crap.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, as I said, I understand if they had, a policy saying 48 hours after they've had sickness and diarrhea, potentially due to a bug. But you have a kid eat a load of sweets and end up being sick afterwards. It's not because they're ill. It's because they've just downed half a ton of chocolate. Well, they don't need to stay off school the day after if they downed half a ton of chocolate the day before and had one episode of being sick. So, yeah, that was a bit frustrating, and I just don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. I think you should be trusted to an extent as a parent to make a bit of a judgment. And if you can justify sensibly them being at school, I understand some parents try and push it. Absolutely couldn't push it with my daughter. If I tried to tell my daughter, right, don't tell the teachers you've been sick.
Yeah.
And there's no way she's not going in to tell the teachers that she was sick, which is fair enough. A teacher, to be honest. But I could have gone into the school, explained the situation and said, look, she threw up once, God knows why. She's been absolutely fine. She's been eating normally since, and sweet, cake, chocolate, all that sort of stuff. And she's been jumping around like a loony to Danny Go and on the dance mat. She's absolutely fine to come to school. Let her go into school. She's had to miss a day of education in school because of a policy that I don't think should apply, really.
I mean, last year We all had chicken pox at the same time ours did. But
Yeah.
they said you can go back to nursery when they've scabbed over.
Yeah.
And we went round. They've both scabbed over. Send them back. And they did a full fucking head-to-toe inspection. And on one of the twins, one twin said, we're not too sure about that spot there. Send them both home. So, fuck's sake, what's wrong with? Can't you keep one of them? Anyway.
And that makes me laugh because
It does,
most parents want their kids to get chicken pox early.
Yeah, get it out of the way. Yeah.
Get it out of the way.
Well, we had it last year when they were 3, so we'll take that. But it just made me wonder that it's an easier day for the minute with 2 kids less that you're paying for, and you don't get your money back or anything, do you, if you can't go in because it's not in the terms and conditions. So fuck your terms and conditions. Take my kids, especially the one you've said is fine. So if one's fine, why don't you keep one and I'll take the other one home? Nope, both twins.
And I get that there'll be parents that try and kind of flout it and use it as I can't get the day off work because... And
it's not easy.
We'll get the kid to lie.
It's not easy because you've got bills to pay. You've got to go to work.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that. I'm in a fortunate position that, yes, if I need to take a day off, then I take a day off because I'm the boss. And I understand not everybody has that ability. I can shift stuff around, and our mum can to an extent as well. But I just think there should be an allowance for a bit of common sense for flexibility. If you can justify, be honest, yes, my kid was sick or my kid was ill yesterday. But if you can then justify using a reasoned explanation to the school why actually you believe they're fine to come to school, then the school should go, yeah, okay, that's a logical reason. Let's admit them into school. Let's allow them to come to school because school's good for them. So a little bit of a rant. But...
Yeah, no, I get it because especially if you can justify it with it. Look, it's not a bug. I did the cooking and sorry about that, or whatever you think it might be anyway.
It might have been something that she ate that didn't agree with her, but it wasn't a bug. That's the main thing.
Yes.
It wasn't a bug. It wasn't that she'd had a fever, had a temperature, had any sickness or repeating sickness. It was an isolated thing. So, yes, that was my little bit of annoyance linked to that. And just, I'd be interested other parents' thoughts on that. Thoughts on, well, do you believe that absolutely it should be rigid 48 hours or should there be an element of discretion with discussion with a teacher?
Yeah. And I'm aware there's a couple of school teachers listening to this, so I dare say we'll get both sides of the coin.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because I'm sure there's parents that try and push it as well, that try and play the system.
Yeah, I would be one of those. Let's hands on, let's say it how it is. Unless you are very poorly, you carry on your day as normal, and we've got work to do. We've got bills to pay.
Yeah.
I appreciate that's not
it's
not the right attitude and things, but that's kind of how I was brought up. We just get on with it. Whatever the situation, just keep trucking.
Yeah.
Hey ho. Now, I have disappointing news for everybody listening. And there are some who enjoy, because we hear it back sometimes. There are people who enjoy the big questions from a 4-year-old.
Yes.
And I don't really have a big question. There's a few easy ones. They're all easy. Normally the questions that I come up with from one of my twins, and it absolutely stumps me. Like, why don't sharks go to the dentist? That stumped me. I still haven't got a fucking foggiest on that one. There's a few others, and we had a few normal type questions, but they're all quite easy to answer. So I think we've got to skip over the big questions unless you've got one from...
No, I've not had one from my little girl this week.
Why can't I go to school, probably? But no, we've had a bit of, do I have to get married? Well, no, you don't. It's an easy one for me to answer. Why are the flowers purple? Were they mine? Because we all planted flowers in the autumn, bulbs.
Yeah.
And they're all sort of coming up and I saying, right, they were your choice. Is that right? I can't fucking remember. So there's a bit of, why did I choose these? Easy one to answer. We just went around the shop and I like the look of them.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of questions there. They had their first little shunt. So my wife stopped at a zebra crossing and the van behind didn't. It was quite slow crawling anyway, 5 mile an hour pretend that there's a couple of scratches on my wife's car done. But as a 4-year-old or 2 4-year-olds and an 18-month-old, that and the bang,
Yes,
a bit scary, isn't it?
throws them out a little bit.
So we had the question, why didn't the van behind us stop? Well, we're just not concentrating. It happens sometimes. We're all dozy. We're all dozy sometimes, and it was his turn.
Yeah.
So the questions I got all fairly easy. So we'll put the pressure back onto the listeners. Right in with your big questions, because this week didn't really get one. So let's hear them, listeners. What are your big questions? Email podcast at
parentingbusiness.com.
Now, I did get a dad joke through one of our listeners.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to caveat, because it's fucking dreadful, the one I'm going to say. Chris, you know what's coming when you listen to this. However, it is exactly what I asked for. I asked for, a few weeks ago, the dad jokes are going to be the jokes you tell a 4-year-old. We're trying to entertain my 4-year-old girls with this one. Strap in.
What, that was the joke?
No, just it's fuck. I'm embarrassed.
Are we going back to my arse again?
I'm embarrassed by saying it. How do you make a sausage roll?
I don't know. How do you make a sausage roll?
Push it down a hill. I had to explain it, and I said to my guys, "Look, a sausage roll, as we know it, is meat and pastry, isn't it? But if a normal sausage, push it down a hill, what's it doing? Well, it's rolling, Daddy. Yeah, and that's the little joke." And looked at me, all gone out. I says, "Because the sausage is rolling." Yeah, Daddy, the sausage is rolling. That's all I got. But it's what I asked for. Make my 4-year-olds laugh. So
did you have to explain to them exactly how it was explained to you, because you didn't get it when you were told it? That's what it is, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Got me in one there. Yeah. The dad joke we're going to use for the show.
Yeah.
I wrote it down.
God, here we go. Bear with.
I didn't write it all down like a twat. I've forgotten the ending.
Don't tell me you wrote the lead-in down, didn't you? And not the punchline.
Got it.
No, I'm sorry. That makes the best dad joke. The fact that you've got the setup but not the punchline.
With dads are completely useless, aren't we? ChatGPT just gave me an actual explanation, not the joke.
Hold on. Tell me the joke, and I'll see if I can come up with a punchline. No. Tell me the lead line, and I'll see if I can come up with a punchline. Go on.
Let the listeners down on this one.
I reckon I can do this one. Go on. Tell me the feed line. You set it up, and I'll knock it out the ballpark.
Oh, got it. Okay, you still try and knock it out the ballpark.
Go on then.
Why do frogs wear sandals?
Why do frogs wear sandals?
Yeah, come on. You're going to knock it out the ballpark. Come on.
I don't know why, because that's a different setup to what I thought it might be.
Why do frogs wear sandals?
No, the answer to...
I can't really give you much grief. I forgot what it was.
I know the answer to what do frogs wear on their feet.
Oh, what do they wear on their feet then?
Open-toed sandals.
There you go. They wear sandals because they're open-toeds. Yeah. It's pointless me asking him to edit out my error there, because it will give him great amusement, keep me looking stupid. But
hey, I'm usually the one looking stupid, so to make you look stupid now and again is a bonus for me.
My arse doesn't hurt at the minute, so I'll take it.
Mine does.
Might be a daft bastard, but I didn't have accidents with men at dogging club or whatever it was. Anyway, if you enjoyed this week's show,
I've got one more thing I want to ask you about, because you have experience in this.
Yeah.
Kids' parties.
Christ, we went to a kids' party this weekend.
Did you?
Mm.
Did you? Well, I've taken my daughter to one or two, including the one for your two girls, which is why I'm going to ask you about this. Why are they such a fucking nightmare to organise?
Well, this is terrible.
So I will give you a little bit of background here. Yeah. I'm organising my daughter's 5th birthday party this year. Now, I had a chat with her about it.
Yeah.
And I'd been coming up with a few ideas. She's massively into K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, what's
She
that about?
she watches it constantly. Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
think
my
it's
girls
not.
love it. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think, okay, what do we do, and how do we organise it? And I was chatting with my sister and a couple of other people as well, and saying, well,
Mm.
what do I do? And the default that most parents do, and I've got no problem with it because it's quite nice, is soft play. Lots of people do soft play. And I thought, okay, soft play is an option, but then things like trampoline parks and, we've got a bouncy castle park in Nottingham that you probably know. You might even taken the kids there, which is quite cool. And we have the first ever Slick City opening in Nottingham, the first one ever outside of the US, which is a giant slide park, not a water slide park, a slide park, and it's opening on the edge of Nottingham. And I thought, well, let's look at a few of those. When you start to look at the costs of those, and you go, okay, minimum 10 kids, anything from £15 to £30 a head, thinking, God, that's quite pricey. And, included in that, you get some food and you get a pizza or a hot dog or whatever. And I thought, well, most kids will eat that. My daughter won't, and it's her party. So I thought, they're a bit crap for what I'm going to spend £300 or £400 on for, even for the minimum. And I said to my daughter, right, let's make a list of all the people that you would like to invite. The list's currently up to 22. And I was like, fucking hell.
Mm.
Okay, this is pricey. And I understand that, you can put limits on and so on and so forth. Lots of parents do. But I thought, even with 10 kids at 20 quid a head, that's still £200. Plus, got to get a cake and this and plus, I know that certain family members will want to come as well, and they can't get involved. So I thought, right, let's look at renting a community room or something. My mate happens to hire out bouncy castles, candy floss machines, slushy machines, popcorn machines, and so on and so forth. So could maybe do something like that, and we can get a K-pop Demon Hunters bouncy castle. And I thought, yeah, that might be okay. But then I'm looking at room hire, and even room hire, I'd looked at one place, £80 an hour. And if you want the kitchen, it's another £100 if you want access to the kitchen so you can serve your own food. You're going to need it for 2 hours plus setup and takedown. Plus, so you're thinking, hold on. Well, I'm going to be paying £300-400 in room hire. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's cheaper places available, and I'm trying to look into this. Then I also found an organisation that will run a K-pop Demon Hunters party, assuming they have availability, where they send a host, they do all the decorations, the balloons, literally all the activities, pass the parcel, they supply the whole lot. And I thought, okay, it's something like £220 for 2 hours for up to 30 kids. Thought, okay, that's not too bad. But then I also thought, yeah, but what if they're not engaging and it's crap? And I've got 20 kids and their parents and everybody else. So tell me, how did you do it? You went to soft play.
We went to soft play.
It was a really nice. I enjoyed it. My daughter enjoyed it,
and because here's the thing for me, as a general rule in life, the more you plan to enjoy yourself, the higher you set the standard, and the more likely you're disappointed. So at the last party for the twins, we just paid 200 quid, whatever it was, 250 quid, and you could invite X amount of kids there. Off you go and play, fuck off, enjoy yourself for a bit.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 dinner's ready, and they bring the little sandwich platters and the buffet stuff out. Off you go and play again, simple. And I think just keep it simple. The party we went to on Sunday, just gone, and you know what it's like at school. You ain't got a clue who these kids are. Right? And we just got an invite to go to his house. There's 6 kids going round to his house. And it's just literally, here's loads of toys and a few balloons. That's good enough for a little 4 and 5 year olds. It's good enough. Here's a load of toys and a few balloons. It's the friends you know from nursery anyway, or 6 of them. There was 6 in total, of which we were 2. So 4 of them plus the birthday boy sort of thing. And then same sort of thing, it was, right, that's lunchtime, there's what they had, I forget, bit of party food, bit of cake, go back and play again. Right, that's 3:00, we best go. Done.
Well,
It didn't
that's the
cost
sort
them
of
much,
stuff I
that.
remember.
It didn't cost them much, and everybody had a good time.
I remember as a kid that we used to have parties at houses
Yeah,
with a pass the parcel, with
yeah,
jelly and ice
yeah,
cream and
yeah,
so on and so forth. The
yeah.
slight downside in my situation is obviously my daughter's about 30 minutes away
Mm.
and her school is about 30 minutes away. So I can't have it at
So it's a
my
tricky one
house.
to say, "Everybody come up here." Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I can't do it there.
No,
Plus my house isn't particularly big. So I've kind of got to organize it relatively close to her school. But I am just thinking I can actually, you know, I can get the bouncy castle and candy floss machine and all this, that, and the other for nothing. And then I can just go onto Amazon or whatever, get a load of decoration. I can organise pasta parcels and so on and so forth, and music,
and we might just bite the bullet on the 300 quid for the room.
and I might just bite the bullet on. Well, I'm hoping I can get a room a lot cheaper. I'm going to speak to kind of the Methodist Church and a few other places in that area to see that I can get
Church hall's
availability.
a good one, because the church hall
Yeah.
near us is, we're getting them christened in a couple of months, and the church hall, it's fuck all.
Yeah. That's what I'm. The only
Very
slight thing
cheap.
I've noticed is the church hall there. The website. I don't know if it's that the website hasn't been updated, but it was their whole church. A section of the church was closed for a long period of time while it was being refurbished. I'm hoping that that is now done. So I've got to contact those, I think, tomorrow and just say, hey, can I do this? The other thing I found out, and this will be interesting when your girls go to school. So my daughter's at quite a multicultural school. And when she's giving me the names of some of the children, I'm thinking, God, I don't know how to spell that.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm going to
yeah,
have to go and ask the teacher.
yeah.
And I actually said to my sister, am I allowed to go and ask the teacher for, how to spell the children's names? She says, well, you don't need to. She said, just go and just ask the teacher for a party names list. Schools create them for the classes, which is a list of every child, I think maybe just their first names, in the class with the correct spellings. She said it's quite common. So you can go into the school and ask the teacher for a party names list, and chances are they'll give it to you there and then. They'll just go, yeah, there you go. So that's just made my life a lot
Yeah,
easier.
it was that simple at nursery as well. We just asked, who do they
Yeah.
hang around with most? We've got 8 spaces or whatever it was, and there you go, 8 names came back and done.
We've got a list. I've got a list of kind of 22 names or 23 names that,
Gonna be mental.
yeah. Well, it's because it's not just school. There's predominantly people in her class. Bear in mind that nurseries are smaller class sizes effectively. She's got 30 odd in her class.
Yeah, we ain't got to invite all of them, surely.
No, you haven't, but she does mix with quite a few of them. Then we've got yours will have an invite as well, and you will have an invite, obviously.
Oh, that's very kind.
Oh no, she loves spending time with your two.
We do get on. They do get on all right.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah, she loves it. So there's those, and there's a couple of others. Plus, then some of my family and things that will want to come, which is great because I know that catering and stuff, I can farm parts of that out, and they'll bring things and they'll help out dishing up food.
Granddad,
and then
can you blow all them balloons up, sort of thing?
Yeah, yeah. So there'll be a little bit of that, and I know that everybody will chip in. But I'm thinking that's the way I'm going to go, because if I can get the room cheap enough, I can spend a few £100s and do a bit of an old style party. It's just not in a house.
Mm.
But I can understand how costs rack up for parents.
Mental.
How they can just get ridiculously out of control. So yeah, it's we're into party season.
How long you got? When's your birthday?
About
Just a month.
what have I got? About 7 or 8 weeks.
Okay, so you're into May. Just into May.
End of April.
End of April.
End of April. And what are we? We're middle of
March.
Middle of March. Well, we're not even. We're kind of
12th
early
when this goes out.
Yeah. So we're not,
very good.
we've got a little while, but I've
Right.
got to get in quick so that things don't get
quick.
hooked up.
And listeners, write in with your money-saving tips and your cheapo little corner-cutting hacks.
Actually, listeners, if you have got party tips for experience
write in
of cost saving on parties,
email in, leave a little comment. There's bound to be loads of little tips and hacks.
Hey, the more the better for me. The more the better for me, because as we know, you might own a business, but that doesn't make you rich.
No, everybody thinks you are. Oh, it's been lovely working for yourself. You've got loads of time on your hands to do whatever, and loads of money to splash out here. Fuck off. Most of us are skint, aren't we? Most of us are bloody skint.
Yeah.
Without the guaranteed check at the end of the month. So,
tell me about it.
Piss off. Hey ho.
And speaking of pissing off, I think
we'll do exactly that and see you all next week.
Yeah, I think we're probably on that time. So do remember, if you're listening and you've enjoyed what you're listening to,
if you're listening, of course they're listening. They wouldn't hear you if they're not listening, are they? What's going to do?
If they're still listening.
Yeah, but if they're not listening,
this part in the podcast.
What's important is you're saying if you're listening. If they're not listening, they've gone the Connie anyway, daft twat. Fucking hell. I know we said we were amateurs.
I'm going to say it anyway.
I know we said we were amateurs. Anyway. We're just proving it again, aren't we? Can't remember your own joke.
If you've got to this part of the podcast...
and your ears are still attached, well done.
And your ears aren't bleeding, then please do remember to click like, click subscribe, leave us a comment, leave us a 5-star review. And if you want to come onto the show, ask any questions, whether it be anonymous or non-anonymous, then please do get in touch. Email us podcast@parentingbusiness.com.
And we'll take all questions. We'll take all questions along the lines of, how do you juggle your day-to-day, struggling with the pressure of this? You know, my VAT returns, I've fucked it up. Can you help me with that? Stu, how did your clonic irrigation go? Don't matter. Just write in, engage, and we'll reply accordingly next week.
Yeah, how's your arse feeling?
How's your arse feeling? Does Stuart get a new chair?
Well, that's the big
question that we was missing earlier, wasn't it?
Or can somebody please just send me a new chair? If there's anyone that works for any of the chair manufacturing companies or in PR and marketing for a really nice kind of office come gaming chair type comfortable thing to protect my arse, I'm open to free gifts as well. You know, we might even give you an advert. Right, now we're descending into chaos. I think it's time for us to go. So I will say bye-bye to you, Ben, and I will say to the listeners, we will see you next Thursday.
We will see you next Thursday with a guest. We just don't know which one yet. We've got 3 or 4 in line. We're not booked who it's going to be. It's as much of a mystery as it is to you lot.
Aye, always. Right, bye, Ben.
Bye-bye.